Hello, welcome to OHBOY. I thought you were supposed to ask me a question. I can remember what film makes me feel. So like when you watch Lord of the Rings and all that, you feel this sense of anticipation and what that you cannot imagine. But then I think OHBOY was the first film that really blew my mind, not just technically, but in terms of the content, the storyline, everything. So I think that's why I called OHBOY Pictures, because I wanted to remember like why I wanted to do film in the first place. Although the funny part is that it's not like I really want to do film. I want to do corporate videos, but I just wanted a name that would remind me every time I say it of what made me fall in love with watching film in the first place. Yeah.
So at our peak, we had, I think, maybe about 17 people.
Now it's more like I do all the work. So the work that comes with it, so I get to direct, I get to edit, I get to color even the projects, work on the audio and things like that. So very much what my team used to do, now I'm doing, but in the past it was more like a management role, which is, yeah, it's not really my strong suit, so not my favorite thing to do. Yeah. Lots of shit. Yeah, I think here I got a lot of sentimental things of which I cannot really throw. So like, that poster was given to me by one of the grips that I work with. I still remember when he brought it over, I was quite surprised at what's this giant thing that he got for me for one of our anniversary. And we were moving to a new office, or which is the old office at that time. I think these are the things that make me feel like doing this business is cool, because the relationships you build with the people, you remember.
I don't think that there was a singular point. For me, it was more of like a feeling that something is not right. In the first few years of the company, it's very straightforward, right? It's a new company, it's survival, right? You bid as low as you can, you produce as good work as you can. But once you reach like 10 years, 12 years, it's like, how do you then go to that next level? And do you want to go to that next level?
I always talk about this with my friends, and like when they ask me, they will still like say, oh, you're still struggling to find a vision for the company. Then I'll be like, yeah, I still struggle. Because ultimately, there's no greater goal than earning money and doing more projects and getting a bigger profit margin. Of which, maybe when I first started the business, I didn't think that was an issue, but it's an issue. Yeah, I guess when you read the business books, they'll tell you that it's a bit of an issue. You know what we talk about? We talk about how Clifford, you see the guy, Clifford? He no longer sells gifts already. Now he just sells hope, because he's just a total 4D shop. That's the kind of conversations that happen in this car. I find it funny that how every time I ask you, the question is always, how many times has Parkel pooped in the morning, so that when I walk in the evening,
you know what to expect.
I know what to expect. That's how our life revolves around one dog. The government's nightmare.
4-room flat, a car, and a dog. No
4-room
kids.
flat, and then no kids. Only have one dog. Hey, buddy. Sit. Hey, sit. No. Sit. You come in first. So when I first spoke about this with my friends, about the idea of retrenching everybody, I think a lot of them were shocked of why we're doing it. Because they asked me, is it because the business losing a lot of money? It's true that the business is not doing as well as it was before the pandemic, but it is in nowhere near dire straits where it needs to close. So money was not the reason. So then they asked me, was it because I was burnt out? And yes, I was a little bit burnt out from the whole process. So they asked me why just hire somebody and make it work. Of which I also said, I think I don't want to, because at the end of the day, I just want to run it the way I want it to be run. And I think one thing that really struck me was every time I do exit interviews for my interns, I will always ask them, what do you think OHBOY is as a company? What do you feel? Every time I get the same answer. It's a very nice, comfortable place and the people are very friendly. But that was not the company that I want to create. I want to create a company that always strives to be better, that is trying to do better work each day. But I found that it's very hard to create a culture like that. I think definitely there are a lot of things that you can pinpoint. But number one is that I'm a people pleaser. I like to be liked. And I think that is a problem. Because what happens is that I would first try to get a person to like me by doing the thing that they want to do but I didn't want to do. But then after that, when I see the result, right, I blame myself for not pushing harder. So I think that's the part that really, really, really drained me.
There was a period where I felt like a lot of things that were very small, I started to get very angry about it. And I think that's when I knew that I was being affected by the things around me more than usual. So I had to stop and ask why. Yeah.
I think it came to a point where some days when I go to work, right, I don't feel like going to work. And that never happened to me before. Ever since I started the business in 2012, I've never not looked forward to go to a job, never not looked forward to going to work, but then it started.
And that kind of defeats the point, because then we might as well just get a job, right? If you're going to just go to work and be unhappy, then I think it's easier if you're working for someone else. The whole point of having your own business is that you can set it up so that you enjoy it, or at least the best that you can. When you're facing the day-to-day, you don't think about things. And I think it's not just with our business, with other aspects of life as well. When it's like, oh, you got to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, then you just create a lot of noise. And therefore, you don't have to pay attention to that humming at the back of your head, that anxiety or whatever that's just humming there, because every other noise is so loud.
The moment I finally made the decision to do it, right, there was a sense of calm that I'm finally doing what is right for me in a way, like what is good for me, what is the best for me moving forward. It's okay, good boy. Here you go. You want to walk, right? Hey. What are you doing?
Too close.
Sit. Hey, buds. Okay. Hey, buddy.
Just act natural. Act natural, guys.
I think if I could tell my younger self, it's more like you need very little to be happy. So I feel like COVID really taught us that, whereby we stay at home and it's just the two of us, and it was the best years we had as a couple, where we really just every day just see each other, watch TV and walk Parkel. That was the thing that really changed my mind, because I was like walking him in the morning and in the evening, and all I want to do is come back and do that. Last time when we first started the business, people say once you reach GST, which is 1 million revenue, I thought when I hit that day, I'll feel so proud of myself that I managed to find a company that has revenue of $1 million. But I remember the day it came, and I felt nothing. It was just like another day. Okay, so then where's my next million going to come?
When you have the company and then you have all these expenses and then the anxiety magnifies as well.
What was the hardest thing to let go?
I think for me, the hardest thing to let go is the ego. I mean, truth be told, right? And I always love it when I tell my relatives, then this video cost this much. Wow, so much money can make. You feel good. And I think that was also the reason why I needed to close the business was I'll retrench the stuff was that, because I was feeding into this ego of I want to be this person, charismatic, business leader, lead a lot of people, respected. But actually all these things I'm not and I'm not made to do these things, and I can't do it, I'm not good at it, and I'm just buying into the ego, I've gone through so much of my life trying to be somebody I'm not, take sciences instead of arts, do this kind of work or make this kind of friends or things like that. And now I feel like at 37, I'm still doing that with my business, trying to be somebody I'm not. And I feel like I've had enough of that. At the end of the day, in this climate, this sounds weird because like not everybody can just throw everything away and just do that.
I think if there was one thing I would like want people to take away from our experience is don't live by default. You're not trapped. Yes, there are circumstances that make it difficult for you to make a change in your life. Sometimes you can't make as big a change as us. But you should try. You should take a look and really at least be aware that what you're doing, is it really something that you want to do?
I think I'm very happy living this life, and like I feel like I'm being awakened. And I think at 37 it's weird to say that you're finding yourself, but you really are finding yourself at 37. Good boy. We are the company. We are the company.